This is All Platforms Gamer on YouTube. It has been a while since I made any recordings, and that's because I am spending some time over here at my relative's apartment for the holidays. Since Christmas is near now, I am just still continuing to sleep over right here until it's over, and then I will be heading back to where I live. But anyway, this recording apparently is not about what I just mentioned. Apparently, I'm pretty sure a lot of Pokemon players out there have already known this strategy for so long, but I put it to very good use. While I was playing Pokemon, the old Pokemon version Black 1, I actually well, it was just a bit after I went past the Pokemon Leaks section and defeating Team Plasma on that one or anything. While I was going through the areas that were opened up after the Pokemon League was done, I actually went up against Champion Cynthia, the Sinnoh, the old-time remembered champion of the Sinnoh regions, Cynthia. I had Pokemon that were only levels high 50s to mid 60s. There was this strategy I used, which it still takes quite a few tries to get it right. The Intimidate revival strategy. What you need to do in order to do this is to buy a lot of revive medicines. Then, when you go up against opponents that have Pokemon almost two times levels higher than yours, you need to have a couple of Pokemon that have the Intimidate ability on hand. And then you need to, while during the battle and your Pokemon gets slaughtered, pretty much most of them in your team, what you need to do is you need to switch to a Pokemon that has the Intimidate ability. And especially if you're going up against a strong opponent like Garchomp or something like that, which obviously is Cynthia's strongest Pokemon, you can repeatedly lower its attack power. And every time your Intimidate Pokemon faints, and you switch to using another one you still have left that is, can still battle, you just simply need to use a revive and revive your Intimidate Pokemon again, and then when that current other Pokemon of yours that you just sacrificed for using the medicine on the one that really it does the strategy with, after it faints, switch over to the Pokemon you just revived with the Intimidate ability. It'll use Intimidate again and weaken that opponent's Pokemon even more with its attack power. Eventually, they will get weak enough so that way they can't do a one-hit faint move on that Pokemon of yours like they used to. So it will give you a chance to attack that stronger Pokemon with the one that has the Intimidate ability, if it has a strong mover and such. And if it gets weakened, just simply use potions and, well, actually, simply just use potions and get it back to good health again. And after it survives one attack again, attack once more with those moves. This strategy will allow you to defeat, opponents, especially strong opponents with strong Pokemon with almost 2 times more higher level than yours. Of course, I used a Stoutland with an Intimidate ability to be able to do the strategy, plus I knew some really strong attacks, well, actually, Return was still pretty strong because that Stoutland had high loyalty to me when I was playing. Of course, it eventually knew Giga Impact, but I didn't have to use that. And another thing, having a Pokemon with high speed is also important too. For example, I have a Serperior that has a extremely high speed. It allowed me to attack especially Cynthia's Milotic before it could attack. Even though it was about 11 levels higher than my Serperior was. So I was able to get some grass moves on it, and even if I actually got a critical hit with luck with one attack. And of course, it was also strong enough to withstand one Blizzard move, which is one of the moves that Cynthia's Milotic knows. and I was able to attack again, and thus being able to defeat Milotic. Then when I went over to Garchomp, apparently that was a little... Well, actually, I defeated Garchomp before I got over to Milotic, I forgot. Anyway, I defeated Garchomp before I got to her Milotic, and that was finishing everything else up right there. This strategy takes a lot of good knowledge of the Pokemon games and such, the ones that go up to when those abilities were added into the series of games. But I used this strategy in order to defeat Cynthia with almost 2 times a lower leveled Pokemon than hers. One really tough one to handle was Lucario. Apparently that one, I really had my hands full with that one. I used a reversal by a sock I had in the party while it was down to 16 HP to be able to quickly defeat her Lucario just like that. Of course, I didn't use the strategy before, and I lost to her once. So this strategy doesn't allow you to easily defeat those stronger trainers. So bear that in mind. If you play those Pokemon version games, make sure to remember the Intimidate and Revival trick. Although a lot of you already have known this strategy and used it before, but I used it because it's really useful for me when I play these games. So that's all this whole entire thing was about. If you want to try the Intimidate revive trick, simply go ahead and do it. I mentioned on how to do it, use it well. And there may not be another update in the Selfie video by yours truly for a long time. This is All Platforms Gamer, letting you all know to have a great day and days ahead and all that stuff. Your time zones are different if you are overseas, etc.